what you're seeing in Pennsylvania. Massive cuts to education. $1.6 billion in Arizona, almost $1 billion in Pennsylvania. The Chester, Pennsylvania Community Charter School and the Chester-Upland School District are partnering to come together to come up with a way for the district to stay solvent through the end of the year. The funding would come from new money and a shift in previously allocated money. Tom Persing, Chester-Upland's acting assistant superintendent, says, all told, it would bring about $28.5 million to the district. Chester-Upland has laid off its top leaders. So Pershing, a former superintendent who has made a second career out of being a turnaround specialist for troubled Pennsylvania school districts, is running Chester-Upland at a cost of $800 a day. Without more funds, the district will run out of money by Wednesday, he said. Admiral Joe Sestak, former congressman of the state of Pennsylvania, with us here on the Ed Schultz Radio Show. Congressman, good to have you with us.
Good to be with you, Ed, particularly such an important issue.
Well, it's the crumbling of our infrastructure. We're fighting over dollars of how important we think our kids' education is. What do you make of it?
Well, Ed, look, you mentioned I was in the Navy. You know, when I joined up, we didn't have, I had 5 chief petty officers. Only one had graduated from high school. By the time I left the Navy, we wouldn't promote you to senior chief petty officer unless you had earned, on the taxpayer's dollar, an associate's college degree in technology, because we recognized we needed more ladders and more rungs for our youth to climb up to contribute to the mission of the Navy. That's how I feel about what's happening in Chester-Upland, which I had part of Upland in my Upland in my district. The governor has decided that when he had a $3 billion budget deficit, he had to handle it. But what he actually did is $3 of every $4 that was cut in education fell on the 150th poorest school districts in Pennsylvania. Only $1 fell on of those $4 was cut from the 150 richest ones. In short, where's the ladders and the rungs to climb up to contribute to the growth? And to make it worse, Ed, we are the only state of the 15 top states in America that have natural gas underneath it, that he refuses to place what all other 14 states did, an excise tax, like Texas does 6.5% for extracting natural gas, West Virginia does 5%, he would do 0. That's hundreds of millions of dollars that he could have been using this year to avoid the cuts that let our poorest youth not be able to have a fair opportunity of fighting chance.
What do you make of Chester-Upland? How's this going to unfold in this school district?
I think you're going to see them come to some resolution for right now. And they should, because for 16 years, up until last June, the state was running the school district. They were responsible for the fiscal books. And so there is a responsibility here from the state to resolve it. And Governor Corbett did say we're going to keep the kids in the district some way. So I think they're going to come up with the money. It's the longer-term effort that if this governor continues on the path of cutting those ladders and rungs, we're not going to make it. Look, in Philadelphia, which is only like 5 miles away, we have only 27% of our African-American males graduating from high school in that city, and only 33% of our whites. And yet in Philadelphia, we had the first public school founded in America in 1684, 100 years almost before the Revolution. And the governor of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania then said that servant and poor, up to the rich, will go to this school. The rich will pay a reasonable rate, and the poor will be for free, because he wanted them to contribute to the Commonwealth. And that failure to continue to take from our collective resources the ability for everyone to have a fair opportunity is going to harm us in having the workforce, the skilled labor that we need to continue America's exceptionalism, and that's the creation and the continuance of the middle class.
Congressman, what's your relationship with the Chester-Upland School District, other than knowing the facts about it?
Well, I went over there, and again, I didn't have the Chester, but I announced in 2006 for Congress after I got out of the Navy. And that first week after I graduated, I went over to Chester High School and sat there and watched the basketball game, because they had the best basketball team when I was at Cardinal O'Hara just up the road in high school. And I went back again with a great man, Jim Balk, who does a lot of work there, to walk through the school and to talk to the youth there. I've gone throughout Chester. It's not just the school system. They don't even have a supermarket, Ed, in the city of Chester. Not one. Phil Abundance, which helps to distribute food, is now going to build the first supermarket there. The only thing that's been done to help that city, which is on the waterfront, is to put in some casinos. And so it's education. It's the right attraction of the job. It's the economic development all the way across. But, Ed, I'd be down there. I visited the homeless shelter. I went into the prison to visit vets there, to the alcohol and rehab place they have, the AIDS. I spent Christmas at an AIDS center there. And I got to tell you, it's a place that just needs a fairer opportunity.
It's amazing.
Ed, it is. Look, this education is so big. I was up in Reading, and 85% of the youth in our schools there are in public school are Latino. Only 2% go to college. And the issue is this, that by 2030, half our nation will be people of color. They're going to be our largest national asset. But if they're not getting the opportunity to grow up and to contribute, we're not going to make it. I learned that from the military. Look how we changed our education system. Say, you've got to have an associate's college degree in a technology. We're not going to promote you. And that's what made us exceptional. We took our collective resources for waterways, roadways, railways, mass communications, energy infrastructure, public schools, and we mandated everybody had to go to public school so that at the end of 12 years they would contribute to the growth and be able to use those roadways and waterways. And the fact that some oil company funded from Hong Kong, funded from China, from Sweden and other places, can come in and drill in the Commonwealth and extract at no tax our natural gas, and yet we're going to cut the chance for kids to have an education. This is the battle that's being set up in this presidential election.
Yeah, there's no question about it. Joe Sestak with us here on the Ed Schultz Radio Show.